Have you guys ever been asked the same question over and over and over again? Homie, same. What's up, guys? I'm Chase, and this is Chase on Two Wheels. Today, by popular demand, we are comparing our loaner 2021 MT09sp against my pride and joy, my 2019 Yamaha MT10. Let's get into it. Guys, I'm not gonna lie, there was a resounding outcry in the comments of our MT10 versus Speed Triple video requesting this current matchup. Before we get into it, I just have to point out the fact that both of these bikes have been featured here on the channel in a plethora of videos, including two other separate videos in our Versus series. But just in case you guys are new to the channel, this 2019 MT10 is my personal motorcycle, and that MT09sp has been on loan to us from Yamaha for a good little while now. Enough preamble, let's get down to business. First up is the 2021 MT09sp. If you haven't tuned into any of our MT09sp content, I highly suggest you do. Long story short, I love this bike. In Yamaha's naked bike lineup, the MT09sp technically falls in between the base model MT09 and the base model MT10. In reality, the bike doesn't really feel that far off from a scaled up MT07 since the suspension has been upgraded to match the weight and the power of the MT09 platform, which is a great place to start. Suspension. In the past iterations, a big area of growth for the MT09 base model was the suspension. So for the SP, Yamaha sprung for the fully adjustable Öhlins in the rear and a fully adjustable KYB in the front to give loads of feedback. Now, for most everyday riding situations, it wouldn't be hard to miss some of the finer nuances of the suspension feedback while riding around busy city streets. That isn't where the MT09sp shines brightest. Now, find you a twisty mountain road and you'll get the understanding of what I'm saying. After spending ample seat time with the SP, I can say that I know just how hard I can attack a corner without exceeding the limit, whether it be mine or the bike's. Thanks to that 6-axis IMU, the bike does a good portion of keeping itself under control while exiting a corner, which leaves me only having to worry about things like body position, the road in front of me, and where I'm gonna stop for lunch. Say you're one of those riders that wants more analog experience from time to time. The same old wheelie happy hoon machine is still living inside the sleek new design, which reminds me the redesign of this year's model MT09 is, well, how about you just let me know in the comments what you think. Inherently naked bikes are just that, naked bikes. Motorcycles that are stripped bare of the things like aero and fairings to protect the rider or electronics from wind and weather. So when it comes to the generation MT09, the designers at Yamaha push themselves to a whole new level of minimalism. Take, for example, the headlight assembly. The form factor is super sleek, but it doesn't leave room for anything other than the headlights arranged in what feels like the tightest configuration possible. Besides the tail section of the bike, which was without a doubt designed to be replaced with a tail tidy, thank you Yamaha, nothing really sticks out from the bike to detract from the overall silhouette. Even the turn signals have been slimmed down to slivers compared to those giant parts bins like they used to slap on everything. So, in short, Yamaha has finally given the middle child some much needed attention, and that brings us to the competitor of the day, my 2019 MT10. At this point, what haven't I said about my MT10? It's got the power, it's got the sound, it's got the face only a parent could love. And for a daily, my bike checks all of the boxes, but there is one drawback. The MT10 at the time of filming is just now heading into its second generation, and for a first outing, Yamaha knocked it out of the park. Overall, the bike is well balanced and predictable. Say I was to take the MT10 to the mountains for a day of spirited riding. Then, out of nowhere, the sky opens up for a quick summer shower, leaving everything soaked. I'd have no doubt that I could continue on with no issues. Would I need to ease off the throttle a bit to compensate for the reduced traction? Sure, but I know because of how dialed that ride-by-wire throttle system and base tune is, I would not have to worry about accidentally getting heavy-handed with the sauce and getting all out of sorts. And that's not to say it doesn't have its wild tendencies. The MT10 is no stranger to prompt power wheelies. Even with hooning in mind, there is no denying the MT10 takes on the role as the responsible eldest sibling in Yamaha's naked lineup naturally. Which is interesting because here's the thing. The MT10 is actually the youngest of the big three naked bikes from Yamaha. That's right, the MT10 didn't hit the streets until 2016. And for you curators of the internet, yes, we are aware that was back when it was in FZ10 for like 1 year, which actually makes the MT10 the baby? That's right, Yamaha released the FZ09 in 2014 and the FZ07 1 year later. While both of those bikes were on the streets garnering feedback from the public, I know Yamaha was sitting back taking notes and applying it to the MT10, which even further muddies the waters for this comparison. Both of these bikes are an absolute joy to ride, and normally I would have no problem comparing two bikes. However, things just feel a bit different this time. And if I had to guess, it's probably because of the premise of comparing these two bikes almost feels forbidden in a way. First off, these two bikes belong to two separate generations of naked bikes by Yamaha, and that just so happens to be separated by 3 years, or 5 years really, seeing as though the MT10 has gone mostly unchanged since its release in 2017. Second, SP versions of motorcycles are special editions that are typically ridiculously priced and almost always expected to be either track toys or showroom pieces. So the fact that the MT09sp is actually cheaper than the base model of the MT10 and can actually be ridden on the daily kinda just throws things for a loop. And lastly, this just feels like a weird multiverse type situation. The MT09sp would be the Tom Holland Spider-Man to the MT10's Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. One is way more seasoned and settled into the role, but the other one definitely came out of the gate swinging well above his weight class. So ultimately, if you're asking me, I would have to go with the MT09sp as the winner because overall, it's a better bike. Not to say the MT10 isn't a good motorcycle, but for everything the MT10 brings to the table, the MT09sp also has plus more at a cheaper price point. I also feel for mostly street riding, which is 99% of the type of riding I do, the MT09sp is far more balanced. It has that crazy amount of power just like the MT10, but it maintains a super light feel. No matter how good any bike is when it's first debuted, they are always bound to be surpassed by a new standard at some point. And guys, that about wraps it up. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to leave a like, and if you would like more motorcycle content like this, feel free to subscribe. Outro crew, I know Yamaha has announced the MT10sp. What do you guys think? Should I make a move and jump ship to the MT09sp, or should I wait and see how the MT10sp stacks up? Leave an OC in your comment and let me know what you think in the comments down below. Love you guys a little bit longer. Bye! Guys in the shop, which one do you guys prefer? Each of you, right now. MT10 versus MT9sp. You choose the MT10? Bo chooses MT10. Trey? How am I the one that owns the MT10 and I didn't choose my own bike? Now I feel like an asshole. I think this shows us one thing. The grass always seems greener on the other side. See you guys on the next one. If this makes it into the video. Which, knowing Bo, it probably will. But who knows? He could be pressed for time.